During his remarks at Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner, President Biden said, quote, "American democracy is not a reality show," and he's right. Reality shows get much better ratings. According to a new poll, President Biden's approval rating has increased slightly over the last 2 months, and now the White House is scrambling like hell to figure out what he did. Did he change his hair? Different mask? What tie was he wearing? That's right, President Biden's approval rating has increased to 42%. He now ranks slightly above leaf blowers. At his rally in Nebraska yesterday, former President Trump appeared to misremember Ohio Republican Senate candidate J.D. Vance's name and called him J.D. Mandel. That's bad enough, but then he said J.D. Mandel will win or my name isn't Donald Vance. According to a new poll, just 35% of college students said they like Elon Musk more than other mega billionaires. Said Musk, "Oh yeah? How much to buy college?" Not just yours, the whole idea. After the share price of Meta increased by over 17% last week, CEO Mark Zuckerberg became $11 billion wealthier in one day. Then that became $12 billion when he stuck his hand in the pocket of a hoodie he hadn't worn in a while.
Ooh, that's fortuitous.
A couple recently got married on a Southwest flight to Las Vegas and then immediately started watching different movies. Deserved better. That's a wonderful joke. I didn't think it would go well, but it was too good not to do. And so, a lot of you aren't married yet, but you're gonna be. And then one day you're gonna be lying in bed, and you're gonna realize how funny that joke was. And I'm willing, you know what? I'm willing to make that investment now. Equity. That joke has equity. That's right, a couple recently got married on a Southwest flight to Las Vegas, and like most couples who go to Vegas, decided to get divorced on the flight back. According to a new survey, more than half of Americans want their family to have access to their personal phone and computer data after they die. The other half are men. And finally, a single lottery ticket was sold in Arizona last week that won the $473 million Powerball jackpot. And the big winner was, damn it! After Politico reported on a draft of a Supreme Court majority opinion that overturned Roe v. Wade, Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted yesterday that it was, quote, "the most significant and glorious news of our lifetime." Now, I'm not a legal scholar, but I do know this. If you made that lady happy, you did something very bad. President Biden released a statement today about the leaked Supreme Court opinion and said that if abortion rights are rolled back, voters will have to elect more pro-choice officials in the midterms. Okay, you gotta stop putting this on the voters. You're the president with control of the House and Senate. We did the voting thing. That's like me blaming a bad show on an intern. Does it feel good in the moment? Yeah. It feels great, but at the end of the day, we all know whose fault it really is. Wally's. Health officials announced yesterday that the coronavirus infections in New York City have reached a medium risk threat level, which means you have to go from not wearing a mask to wearing it below your nose. According to unconfirmed reports, Russian President Vladimir Putin is set to undergo cancer surgery. Doctors think that with their sharpest skills and a little luck, they can remove all the Putin. According to a new study, a dog's personality has nothing to do with its breed. For example, a different collie pushed Timmy into the well. The series Grey's Anatomy yesterday celebrated filming its 400th episode. That show has been on so long, all the doctors are patients now. A house in Dayton, Ohio that has been decorated to look like Monica's apartment from the sitcom Friends is currently up for sale for $162,000, which is also what the monthly rent would be for Monica's apartment in Manhattan. And finally, the luxury gym Equinox will reportedly begin accepting cryptocurrency as a form of payment this summer, while Planet Fitness will begin accepting Marlboro miles. Vice President Kamala Harris spoke yesterday at a gala for a pro-abortion rights organization and said, quote, "Those Republican leaders who are trying to weaponize the use of the law against women, well, we say, how dare they?" Great, that ought to do it. And if that doesn't stop them, you can always throw in a harumph. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates spoke out yesterday against a potential reversal of the Supreme Court's decision in Roe versus Wade and warned that it would, quote, "set us back 50 years. He said the next time America makes that much progress, we should remember to hit save. In a new interview, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said that former President Trump should not run for re-election and added that Trump is, quote, "enjoying playing golf 5 or 6 days a week." Why ruin that by going back to a job where he can only play 4 or 5 days a week? President Biden is set to hold a Cinco de Mayo party tomorrow at the White House, because what's more fun than a Cinco de Mayo party thrown by someone who doesn't drink? It's like having a Halloween party and saying, "But FYI, this is a no-sugar house. Who loves raisins?" NASA is planning on sending naked images of humans into space as part of a new mission to communicate with alien civilizations. Guys, you can't do that. At the very least, you have to hit them with a "you up" first. And finally, the NFL announced today that the New York Giants will play a game against the Green Bay Packers this season in London. So instead of losing 27-0, the Giants will lose 27-0. The New York Times has published additional audio of House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy in the aftermath of the Capitol attack. All right, how do we have this much audio of Kevin McCarthy? Pretty soon, we're going to be able to put out an EP. President Biden said yesterday that his administration is making progress on reducing the national debt. Oh, good. That was definitely the thing I was most worried about. What about abortion, the pandemic, climate change? The Democrats are like the people who offer to bring the most boring thing to a party. Good news, everyone. The napkins are here. The soiree can begin. President Biden warned yesterday that the leaked opinion that indicates the Supreme Court is prepared to overturn Roe versus Wade could threaten other freedoms, and said, quote, "What happens if you have states change the laws, saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children?" Said Republicans, "Oh, hey, that's good. That's good. What else you got?" Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz tweeted yesterday, quote, "How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials who sadly returned from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches," which is pretty bold, coming from a guy who does all his dating on Venmo. Several journalists across multiple news outlets have reportedly tested positive for the coronavirus after attending last weekend's White House Correspondents' Dinner. So all those articles about how we're back to normal are going to be a week late. Donald Trump Jr. reportedly met on Tuesday with the House committee investigating the Capitol attack remotely for more than 3 hours. 3 hours doesn't seem very long, but because it's Don Jr., it still came out to like 8 hours worth of testimony.
The media runs right away. It's Russian disinformation. There's literally zero evidence of that it's Russian disinformation.
President Biden mistakenly said at a White House event this week that there has never been a senator from Delaware, while the GOP is trying to convince us there's never been a congressman from North Carolina. Sunday is Mother's Day, which means today is I got plenty of time to get a card. Tomorrow is I should get a card. Saturday is what about an e-card? And Sunday is I'm screwed. Residents of Nantucket voted yesterday to allow everyone to go topless on its beaches, bringing them one step closer to finally living up to their limericks. An otter. Yeah, sometimes it takes a minute. Sometimes it takes a minute for the limerick jokes to land. We'll be patient. An otter was recently spotted swimming in the Detroit River for the first time in over 100 years, but I'm willing to bet that it's a different otter. And finally, the FDA is looking at a new proposed rule to ban menthol cigarettes. Here to talk about it is one of our writers, Amber Ruffin, in a segment called Is This Racist?
The FDA is going to ban menthol cigarettes, and that's well, I mean, it is. Okay, no, wait. I mean, it feels. But is it like all the way racist? Okay. You gotta look at the. Yeah, because if I say that, then that means the other thing. So dicey. Okay, wait, I got it. It is racist because the other cigarettes are, well, that's different. Okay, wait. Okay, yeah, okay, wait, no. Not racist, final answer.